Thank you, Representative Kiley, for yielding. I rise in strong support of House Resolution 516 to condemn the violent riots in Los Angeles this month, and I want to thank our brave law enforcement officers. And I appreciate the heated debate and the conversation, and I want to thank my colleague, Representative Kiley, for leading the groundwork for explaining what led to the events that occurred last month in Los Angeles, which explains that the federal agents were conducting immigration enforcement according to the law. Mr. Speaker, protecting public safety should not be controversial. This resolution, therefore, we made it very simple. It recognizes the right to assemble and protest peacefully, and it condemns unequivocally the violence perpetrated against federal, state, and local law enforcement. It calls on local and state elected leadership to work with the federal government and restore peace. And it expresses gratitude to our local, state, and federal law enforcement officers for bravely keeping our communities safe in the face of danger. That's what this is about. Do you stand with our law enforcement officers working to keep our communities safe and have the common sense to call out rioters who commit vandalism, violence, property damage, and other crimes in our streets? Mr. Speaker, like others in the chamber and many across this country, I am an immigrant who came here legally in pursuit of the opportunities that this country provides. I am proud to be an American, and I am paying it forward to keep the American dream alive for my children and grandchildren. Peaceful protests are a constitutional right. We all cherish that. And our communities should not be living in fear. But peaceful protest and freedom of assembly gave way to chaos in Los Angeles we witnessed a few weeks ago. We saw acts of arson, looting, property destruction, vandalism, blocking streets and highways, lighting cars on fire, shooting fireworks, throwing rocks at law enforcement vehicles, and even assaulting federal and local police officers. As a result, we saw more than 500 rioters were arrested, and at least a dozen LAPD officers were injured. Local and state leadership clearly could not contain the chaos. The riots have cost at least $30 million to pay overtime and repair property damages to city buildings. This doesn't include the small businesses and other private entities whose businesses fell victim to the destruction. We also know that the riots were enabled by California's soft-on-crime policies that have allowed for lawlessness and endangered public safety. Again, this resolution recognizes the right to assemble and protest peacefully, condemns the violence against law enforcement, and calls on local and state officers to work with the federal government to restore peace, and we want to thank our law enforcement. This is not controversial. Thank you, and I yield back.
The gentlelady yields back to the gentleman.